So the one question that I've seen, or the one debate that happens all the time, is what was the worst iPhone? Now, I think this is probably a shifting goalpost because, for the most part, if you're talking about like the worst iPhone, I mean, the worst iPhone from last year isn't the worst iPhone from 5 years ago and 10 years ago. But the thing I will tell you is probably one of the consensus of the worst iPhones ever made was probably the iPhone 6 Plus. I mean, this iPhone had bend gates. It really wasn't even that big of an upgrade coming from even like an iPhone 5S internally. But externally, big iPhone, big changes, big differences. However, I would say the worst iPhone right now, as of this point, if you really want to go there in terms of software support, whichever iPhone is still supported, I mean, it has to be the iPhone XR. This is the worst iPhone objectively that you can basically purchase that is still supported with software. But if you're talking about the iPhone that basically had the worst impact on Apple, meaning if we're talking about an iPhone that basically impacted Apple the worst way, maybe changed their perspective on a lot of people, you have to kind of give it to the iPhone 6S. Now, this is kind of a throwback, but for those of you who don't know, the iPhone 6S was kind of the first iPhone that kind of people saw or, kind of noticed that kind of Apple was throttling performance based on battery life, but they weren't being open about it. And the way this even kind of got, found was somebody who owned an iPhone 6S, when they replaced their battery, noticed that the performance was substantially better after they replaced the battery than before. So this, kind of gave Apple a humongous lawsuit after the fact. And it was actually pretty crazy because a lot of people did experience a lot of issues with it. But guess what? Apple had to go through this massive lawsuit. They had to pay a bunch of money for this thing to get fixed. And eventually Apple did kind of get through the other end. Their market cap is way higher than before. But guess what? They went through this whole entire litigation. They had to improve their software like crazy. And it was the first time in a long time that we saw something that was kind of like a planned obsolescence conspiracy kind of actually end up becoming true, which was absolutely insane. So as of this point, what I can definitely tell you is that if we're taking a look at all the iPhones of all time, an iPhone, like the iPhone 5S and iPhone 6, and those ones are older, the iPhone 6S included. But when you take a look at the iPhone 6S, that one probably had one of the worst impacts on Apple for a long duration of time. I think a lot of people forgot about the bend gate thing, but now when you think about the iPhone 6S, although it was a monumental upgrade, I would say, coming from the iPhone 6 series, it was still a very strange thing that ended up happening for those particular devices. So at the end of the day, when I think about the worst iPhones, those are probably some of the worst ones in different categories that I can kind of sum up with. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.